afternoon. Again, I'm Jeff Kessler. I'm the acting president of the West Virginia Senate, and there's been a lot of reports over the last couple of months that I got in this role by some kind of revolt or riot or whatever you may want to call it, but I think we did it the old-fashioned way. We did it the Democratic way. We got more votes than the other guy, so that's where we are here today. I don't see anything wrong with that. I do see my good friend here, the judge, and I also know that you guys should know and take comfort in the fact that things that are working upstairs are working very well. Most of the votes that we're passing out there now were past some of the organizational issues that preoccupied us for the first few weeks are behind us, and nearly all the legislation that we're passing out of the Senate is passing 33-0. So the people are working together from all regions of the state to try to do the best work for the state of West Virginia. And I know a lot of folks early on got concerned that said, you're from the northern part of the state and, you'll forget about us down here. And that's not true, because the first time I think that report came out, I immediately got in the car the following morning with one of your new senators, Mark Wills, and drove down to Bluefield and met with the media folks down there to talk to them, let them see that I do not have horns growing out of my head, no matter what folks may say. And I'm committed, as the Senate President, in whatever capacity I may serve the people of the state, to make sure that every region of the state, every single region of the state has an opportunity to prosper. I know there are challenges down in the southern part of the state. In fact, I spent the last weekend in Boone County with Senator Stallings. He invited me down, and I wanted to see firsthand, what things are like in Boone County and why. And I'm not very pleased with what I've seen. There's a lot of challenges, a lot of poverty. There's not a lot of opportunity outside of the coal industry, and I know that's important to your area as well. But coal is also important to my area. Up in the northern panhandle, I've got McElroy Coal Mine, which is the largest deep mine in the entire United States. So I'm interested in coal. I want to make sure that coal gets mined. I also want to make sure that it's mined cleanly and efficiently and with the sensitivity to public health of the people that surround it. I also know that we need, because of our energy resources in the state, that there's going to be an enormous opportunity as we come out of the recession. No matter where you go, north, south, east, or west, they're going to need what we have, and that's energy. We have an abundance of coal. We have an abundance now with a huge play potentially with the Marcellus gas to this time create enormous wealth in this state. And this time we got to make sure that the wealth stays in the state, not out of the state. That the opportunities for jobs are created here in the state, in the energy markets, in the education sectors, in the healthcare fields, so that we keep our people and our children here, not going across the border or across the state line to Bluefield, Virginia. We need to keep them in Bluefield, West Virginia. And that's what we're going to do. I know we've got a bill that we're trying to move out through the Senate Finance as early as, if not this afternoon, hopefully tomorrow, where we would dedicate a portion of the coal severance money back to the counties of origin. That's a bill I think that we passed last year, but due to a technical defect ended up being not becoming law. I can't remember if the governor vetoed or just vetoed for a technical. It actually wasn't enrolled, I'm sorry. But it did not get enrolled properly. But I do believe that, I know that a lot of wealth has been created for a lot of people out of the coal-producing county, particularly in southern West Virginia. And we need to make sure that you're given an opportunity to enact the programs, to build the infrastructure, to water, sewage, highways, roads, etc., that will let you have a real chance. Because as I told you, many of you don't know, I've got a 21-year-old son who came down to visit me yesterday, and an 18-year-old daughter, but I also have a 5- and a 2-year-old son. So I've got him in college, high school, preschool, and diapers. So and I've said that before, but I don't know if we've got enough opportunities where we've done a good enough job for my older 2 children. They're going to be able to stay here. But I think we absolutely will be wasting an enormous opportunity, and that we will not be doing our job as public servants if I leave this government in any fashion and don't make sure that my 2- and my 5-year-old have an opportunity to stay here. For 2 generations, we've let all of our children. We spend 60–70% of our state budget on education, and guess what? They leave. They turn around and leave. And when that happens, you should not be surprised, as many of you that are in business, that if you had 60% of your resources or your capital flushed it down the toilet every year for 2 decades or 2 generations, it should be no surprise if you're lapsing so many good things. And so if we don't turn that around, no matter who's governor, whoever may be our governor now or in the future, if we don't turn that around and create opportunities for our young people, we don't have a chance. And that's where we need to be focused, not where we are this year, not where we're going to be the year from now, but where we're going to be in a decade from now, in 2020 or in 20. I like to be the 2011 candidate. I used to say 2012. I guess now it's 2011 candidate with 2020 vision.
where are we going to be 10 years from now? Where is West Virginia going to be? And that's where we got to set our goals high and say, what do we need to do to get there? People say, well, that's pie in the sky dreams. You can't do that. You can't have a great education system. You can't have a great health system. You can't have, great technology. You can't have broadband capability. And I say, why not? I had dinner about a year ago with Governor Schweitzer from out in Montana. And he said, they had done some really good things. And he's been a national spokesman for at least the Democrat Party throughout the country lately, the last few years. And they said, when I first got in, they said we couldn't do stuff. His advisors come in and he'd say, just can't be done, Governor. He said, guess what? You change your attitude or I'm getting me new advisors, because we are going to get it done. This is where we're going. This is where we're going to take our state, and you guys got to come up with creative ideas to get there. And I think by working together, we can, in fact, do that. We can take this state to places it's never dreamed of going before. I truly believe that our best days are in front of us, not behind us, and we haven't even begun to touch the tip of the iceberg. Particularly if this Marcellus gas play comes out, it's going to be as huge of an energy opportunity as happened in Dallas, Texas back in the 30s and Alaska in the 70s. With that, they created a permanent fund in Alaska where they put aside a portion of the increased revenues they were going to get from the oil and gas, that big gas oil boom they had up there, and put it in an endowment fund that couldn't be touched by the politicians for a long, long time. Now, every man, woman, and child that lives in Alaska gets a tax refund check every year. I think it's either $1,300 or $1,800 they get, and there's no income tax. Well, it tells me that, if West Virginia, if we'd have been smart enough to put a penny a ton on every ton of coal that came out of our ground in our rich state, just sat it aside and said, don't touch it for 50 years, we would have been the richest state in the union. But we didn't have the foresight or the discipline to do that. So this time with this play, if this comes out as big as they expect, I introduced a bill last week or a week before called the West Virginia Futures Fund that will require 25% of the additional severance dollars we get put aside that can't be spent by the politicians to create opportunities for our children. And if we do that, you may find out a generation from now that West Virginia is, in fact, the best state in the union, the richest state in the union, with more opportunities for growth than any other state. So I think it's worth our while. I think it's worth the opportunity. I think we ought to learn from the sins of our past and put those behind us. But working together, I think we're all prepared to sacrifice and do whatever we would have to do to get there. That's where I want to take the state. That's where I think our Senate wants to take our state. I've surrounded myself with new leadership, different people. And that sometimes change is good. Sometimes people do the same old thing, the same old way, the same old, for so many years, and you get the same results. So sometimes a little change is not bad. So all I ask is, I think we've got a very proactive Senate full of new ideas. They're willing to be bold, take initiatives, take risks, calculated risks, to get the best results for the state. And with that help, and with help from guys like Richard, Mark Wills, Ron Miller, and even Truman Chapin and John Pat Fanning, who many of you have been serving, representing you very diligently over the last 20 years. But now there's a new sheriff in town, obviously, but watch us work. I think you'll like what you see. So with that, I'm going to have to take off to another meetings we have upstairs, but look forward to working with you and for you and representing you and as the leader of the Senate and to do good work to make you proud. Thank you very much.